welcome viewers to our show One to One with Aaysha. Today our topic is frustration in youth. Especially we are talking about North America, and I have two very prominent personalities from our community, Sumaira Arshad and Seema Tajamul. Both are educators and they are teaching in the schools of Mississauga. We welcome both of them. Hi.
Hi. Thank you. Hello.
So today our topic is about the youth and frustration in youth. So my first question with Sumaira, definitely with Seema also you can also add on whenever we are going to talk about it. So what is the reason of frustration?
Okay, hi viewers, and thanks for inviting me to talk. To me, I think there are a number of causes, and but I'll talk about a few. For example, youth and especially teenagers, because they are going through a certain time period in their lives where they have some biological and psychological needs that need to be met. And the very important, the foremost point is that they should have somebody in their life that they can talk to, they can rely on. And I think parents are the best people in teenagers' life, that they can help them with that, because that's one thing. And then yes, there are stresses. There are a lot of stresses that our teens are facing nowadays, at schools, at home, with friends. There is this academic burden that they have to carry. They know that they have to go through it. They have to achieve something. They have to study and maintain some level, get some grades, and then they have to keep a social, like, because teenage is that part of your life where you are actually starting to socialize on your own. You're thinking that you are like big enough. You're grown up. You're now grown up people who can socialize on your own. You can make your own friends, and your friends at this age, I think, are the most important people in your life.
Okay, so now before I ask question from you, Seema, I just want to mention that what is frustration.
Yes. Hi viewers. Frustration in the youth is like Sumaira was talking about, that there is changes that creates the frustration inside them, and I agree with her. There are hormonal changes also that commonly we don't mention them, and we think just that what we want from them they have to do, like we think still they need our guidance, but no, it's not the fact. They are feeling that they are jumping from middle school to a high school, so they can make their own decisions. And like Sumaira mentioned, that their peers, their friends are very important for them. So they think whatever their friends are saying, they are right. And parents are stressing them to do this and that, and they think that their parents are not their friends and they don't understand them. So
here I really want to tell you that what is basically frustration. I have taken it from yes. Frustration is a common emotional response to the opposition related to anger, annoyance and disappointment. Frustration is created by those emotions which are being blocked. When we resist, when kids resist, they don't want to do, and we or the environment wanted them to do or go for that, then the frustration occurs.
Yes, this is the point, that parents should be more friendly.
Yeah,
they need to do the conversation, a friendly conversation and positive conversation, that what's their problems they have to discuss. Communication is now playing a very important role, that they have to listen to them, not only tell them as a parent that no, you have to do this and that. No, you need to listen them, that what they want also. Then you can guide them nicely, friendly, and it's not hard that they listen to you. they can do.
Yeah, I just want to add something here.
Yeah.
Like, for example, as she's talking about communication, which is very important, I think. And one thing is that this communication, because many parents in our society think that they are communicating, but I would say they are not actually communicating. Now, why? Because communication, in order to be effective, has to be deep and meaningful. Now, deep conversations or deep communications are about the topics that actually matter to you, right? Now, there are things parents usually think that they don't take their teens' problems as serious because they are looking with their own lens. So the problem that person is going through, that child is going through, they take it as very trivial. They say, oh, that's not a problem. You wanted to go with your friend, but they didn't invite you. That's not a problem. But that is a very big problem for that teenager or for that child, right? It's real for them. So the first thing is that we have to know and understand that something that is bothering them, something that is stressing them, that is actually real. And we have to acknowledge that. Mostly what parents do is that they say, oh, that's not a problem when kids or teens
But now I want to ask you one question, because it is, I have not written that question for you people. Both of you are educators. And most of the time of children is being spent in the schools. So what is the role of teachers in this matter?
Okay.
I think teachers and parents should be partner in raising the child, because it's not one man show.
Yeah.
That
It takes a village to raise a child. As
definitely.
you know, right?
So they need to discuss. If the teacher notice something, they need to discuss with the parent. And if the parent realize that there is some change or something is not normal, they have to talk to the teacher that what's wrong in the school, or maybe they don't know and there is something that bothering that teen in the school. So I think always it works together.
So now my next question is that when a parent realizes that the child, like the kid, is now a teen.
Is now a teen.
Yes.
Okay, you want to say it?
Go ahead then.
To me, I would say that it's a very, very hard question. There are no hard and fast rules to tell when your child starts behaving as a teen, because they can even start behaving as teens when they are preteens, when they are not even teens, right? So it's not, there are no hard and fast, oh, this is the age when they turn into teens. It's actually, I would say it's their mental behavior, it's their psychological kind of how they are thinking. So it's the parent's job to know, to detect, to see, to understand that their child's needs are now changing.
And they should behave according to the environment.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they need some liberty also. That in our society, especially like Indo-Pak, that our parents, they just want to, they expect from their kids what they want. They forgot that they were also teen once upon a time.
Because the thing is,
they have to come on their level.
Yes, we are in North America and there is a culture shock also. Obviously,
Definitely.
we are coming from different perspective, with different world, and children are in the different world.
Definitely.
So when you want a fish to swim in water and you are thinking that fish should not be wet. So this is the point, that how we are dealing with our children over here.
And that's where I say that parents actually need to themselves go through some learning and training,
definitely.
Right? So we need to first change ourselves,
yeah,
and only then, because if we are not ready for that cultural change, how can we prepare our
they
teens
cannot
for
face that challenges. The teen cannot face that challenges if the parent cannot face those challenges. So we need to, like she said, that we need to change ourselves first, and we have to mold ourselves as well, that we are not in the same society. So we need to accept it. We came here. Why we came here? If we want to raise our children in another culture manner, so you have to mold yourself.
So how much time parents are with their children, how much time parents are spending with their children when father is working, mother is working? And both have the different shifts and both are career oriented and both are here.
That's exactly what's happening to me.
Both are here and they have to accelerate with their career also. They have to move in the society also, and they want their children also to be perfect, to get taking 90% marks, 80% marks. But how much time parents are spending with their kids?
This is what I want. Yes, parents should say. Here is the point that parents need to sacrifice. This is what my personal experience, that I sacrifice for them. I sacrifice my sleep hours and I sacrifice my other social gatherings. I know it's not good for me, but if I want my kids to be raised good and nice person, and I have to do that one.
Okay, for me, I would say that one thing that, like, I know that mothers are working, dads are working, and I don't see a harm in that, because if a mother is working, that even if you look at it positively, if you are communicating with your children in a positive way and they see you working and struggling and they see you as a strong person, they will follow in your footsteps, right? So this is but the thing is, again, keep the lines of communication open. If you are busy, you need to talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Tell them they should know why are you not spending a lot of time with them, and make the time that you spend with them, make it a quality time. I believe in quality rather than quantity.
Yes,
so
definitely. Yeah. Today's child is tomorrow's future. Definitely. But now we can start with another conversation, like same with the frustration in the children, that all roses are black. This is what the perception of a youth is over here. So now we have gunshots, we have accidents, we have mental health illnesses, depressions, we have drugs. So these are so many points which we look forward to talk about today in our program also. What do you think about the role of society in this frustration, in adding frustration? Not in decreasing, in adding frustration. What is the role of society? Okay, fine, because being a parent, we are taking care of our children. Being a teacher, we are monitoring our students, what they are doing. We have the social activities. But what is the role of society?
Okay, so as we just before talked that it takes a village to raise a child. So it's not an individual's job.
Yes.
But unfortunately, what I think in our society these days, it has become an individual's job. This needs to be changed, right? For example, I have seen, I was, the other day I was listening to the news on radio, and they were talking about Toronto District School Board there in one of the communities. They are starting parent mobile busing system, which was, they said that because when kids go to school, those who do not have a bus, but they have to walk long distances, parents are very upset because they don't feel it's safe sending them to school by themselves, and they can't go with them. So what they were talking was that they said that we are planning to bring people from the community together, right? Some parents who can volunteer for the other people to arrange that they can walk with kids to the school. So I think this used to be the norm in old days, that everybody knew each other. Neighbors were so friendly. Alhamdulillah, my kids play with my neighbors' kids even now.
Yeah.
But the thing, it has gone down. People don't know each other. They are so much busy with themselves. So society, I would say, they can create more and more opportunities if they want. So they should come together. Parents in a community, they should plan for things where their kids can come together, where they have those entertainment and recreational opportunities available very,
place.
they are accessible easily, and they are available in the community.
So like with your answer, I feel like that frustration is not only coming from home. Frustration is coming from the society. It's in the environment. It's in the media.
Media is playing a big role.
Yeah.
Like why in old days, if we have a pair of shoes, we are contented with that one. But now the media is showing the brands, and now a small child, 4-year-old or 5-year-old, now they know the brands.
Yes.
And when they grow up, they want all the brands. They want to access them, and this is creating a frustration. If one child in a school can buy a pair of shoes that is $300, the other one is the same thing. So I think this is also the increase. It fuel it, like parents need to.
Literacy at schools, sorry to cut you, but at media literacy is being taught at schools here. In public schools, they are working on it, and they work quite in depth, because I'm doing it myself. But I want to see that happen at home too.
Exactly.
Because parents should be, actually parents should be media literate. If only if they are, then they can educate their children. So that's
only thing is that parents should be taught
they should be perfect.
No, taught to give time to their children.
Yes, and
most
parents
important
need
thing
to be. They need to be update themselves also with the society, with the modernization of the society. What is happening? It's not like your child knows certain names and you say, I don't hear about them. No, you have to hear about them, because if you know, then you can discuss with your child. If you are not discussing these things with your kids, they are going outside.
Seema, that thing was known as generation gap.
Yeah, but
I think it has to be abridged now.
Yes, because at that time there was no social media, there was no technology at that time. Now we know more than our children. Whenever we have time, we are always on our phones, on the Facebook, on the social media. We have to update ourselves for our children. For obviously to move in the society, we need to update ourselves. It all matters.
Like some topics I don't like for myself, but I have to check them that I am updated. When my kids are discussing about it, I'm not sitting like that and looking at them. I can add myself in their discussion, and they get surprised. Mom, you know that? And
being a teacher, sometimes I'm at school.
Yeah, my students also.
They are like, with my teenage students, they are like, sometimes they are talking and things about, like, they don't even know. They think I don't know anything about it, and they're like, and then when I look at them and I jump in the conversation, and they're like, wow, you knew it.
Same happened with me.
I think that parents need to be.
So viewers, we are having a very nice conversation with Seema and Sumaira, and both are the educators. They are having their own kids also. We are discussing about the personal experiences and the experiences with their students also. We are coming back, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, viewers. We are talking about the frustration in youth, and we have Seema and Sumaira with us, and we were discussing about the frustration, why this frustration creates more unhappiness and more accidents in youth. So Seema, now basically we want to emphasize the accidents which happened in last month, and two young youth has lost their lives in two different accidents. So can you give some glimpses of that?
Definitely, I was shocked when I heard about it, but this was the thing that gave me opportunity to discuss with my students and with my own kids. That see, we are, I know, because I was young too, like them, but it is a thrill that led us to do the things that we want to do. Yeah, it's a human nature that you want to do something that you feel enjoyment, and
you feel excited, you
accomplishment. Yeah, it's adventure is in our nature.
Yes, and for me, adventure. If there is no adventure, there is no life. This is my motto. Like,
and see why they say
today.
Why they say that if you are an adventurous person, they say you are young at heart. You stay young.
Yes.
So that means that's specifically youth's requirement. That's what their age demands.
Yes, definitely. So there come the point that I could easily discuss with my own kids, and with my student that look. Thrill is not bad thing, but it should have a limit.
Yes.
That you can enjoy everything, you can have it, but it takes life also. Sometimes just a moment, that you lose a life. It's not easy it's not easy for parents to
raise the child, raise the youth up till 19 years,
just in a moment,
and just in a moment, in a blink of an eye, and there is no more.
That's
life.
Okay, I have another point to add to that, specifically with reference to this accident that happened and many other accidents like that may happen. It's I would say that there is another aspect to this. Obviously, that teens' life is very important, valuable for themselves and for their parents. But the other thing is that I think there's something why it's happening is that we as parents might be maybe somewhere we have failed to give that civic sense to our children.
Okay.
Because when they're growing up, they should know that it's not only their own lives that they are responsible for.
Okay.
It's the whole community, in all the community members that they live with, and especially, for example, going on the road. And when one person is driving on the road, then the responsible citizens know, and they should know, and they should be trained if they are teenagers or kids, or not obviously not small kids, but teenagers, that they are not only responsible for their own lives, but a responsible community member is also,
certain behavior,
dutiful towards others, because they are sharing the road with other people.
Definitely.
Sumaira, we are talking about the North American culture in North America. You are not getting the license unless until you are properly trained. 18-year-old has to do few courses and then they take the exams.
But I don't know if I should say that.
Yeah, sure.
But some of the in our own community, I have seen, because parents, myself, I'll talk about why talk about other people. Let's talk about myself. I was driving my car for 20 years in Pakistan, back home, right? And then I came here. And when I started driving, I know I was not a very responsible driver back home, right? Okay. Because there
whatever
the problem.
There is flexibility, but here there is
one thing. There's not. I did not have a very well developed civic sense. I did not have that sense that how can I be a responsible citizen? I was never trained for that, right? Okay. So when I came here, I did not know a lot about abiding by the traffic laws, but I had to, because obviously when I got tickets and things, then I knew. Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that parents who are coming from there, parents who recently come, they themselves, they don't go through that process, and that's why they don't know, and they are not giving that sense to their own kids, because it's very easy to go out, as you said, and take some classes, go for some driving classes, and take the test and get license. But that doesn't give you that sense. That sense, in schools here, very small kids from kindergarten, we are trying to give them that sense that how they can be that awareness of being a responsible citizens. So that's one thing that parents at home should also talk about. Definitely. They should talk about that to their teenagers, that obviously your life is important and other people's lives are also
related
important
to them.
And you cannot step on other people's toes and do whatever you
And what about the gunshots? We have so many incidents of gunshots also.
In our neighbor country also.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like what I have studied, that there is not one reason. There are reasons.
Yeah, reasons.
Like the children, so many children, they were bullied. And who is responsible for their bullying? Everybody is involved. I think the teachers, the students, their peers, their parents, because they take it lightly, then these kind of incident will happen in future. We have to be very strict in the beginning. When we see any kind of bully, we have to stop it.
Okay.
As an educator, as a teacher, and as a parent, also don't think that these two kids are fighting and they are bullying. Okay, he's not my child, so I'm not aware. No, this is your responsibility as a good citizen to tell the parent that your child is on the wrong path. You are not teaching them. They are also sensible, but you have to mention it. Don't ignore it.
So it means that frustration, one solution for frustration is civic sense. And the responsibility of parents.
Exactly. And I break down the question that you now asked. That will again melt down to the same thing. If she's talking about bullying or if you're talking about the gunshot, it again melts down to mental health. Because who are the bullies? Bullies are not some people who are born villains, right?
Okay.
Bullies are again the same youth, the same children who have been ignored, who had their own stresses and frustrations, their own problems that were never solved. And by bullying other people, they are actually doing the same thing that was done to them, right?
Okay.
So again, it boils down to mental health.
So what you're saying is that frustration leads to mental health. Frustration is not mental health. Frustration is that anger, annoyance, disappointment,
anxiety
in the mind, which children really want to show us something, but we don't want to listen. They don't have the outlet of their anger. Yes, they need outlet, and that's how they bully others, because they were bullied by others due to their lack of confidence or whatever.
And then again the same thing, if we don't know how to let out our own anger, what are we modeling to them? That's the thing. If I am shouting at my child or my teen for when I am mad at them, that's what they are learning. If I don't know my own anger management, stuff, how to do that, how can they learn it?
I always used to quote this thing that children do not learn what we say. Children always learn what we do, unconsciously and consciously. What they see, they learn. They never learn what we tell them to do.
Definitely, they don't want lessons and these kind of things. So yes, and we have to teach our own kids also that if you see somebody is bullied, you have to take a step. You need to help them. And it happens. My personal experience, my kids, they come home and they said, put positive things in your kids. If you see somebody has no lunch, try to help them, try to soothe them. If it is allowed, share your food with them. Like if they don't have any allergies or any kind of this thing. So it creates a love and a helpful person. It creates a helpful person. So if you make your child like this, a model, then everybody is following them. It's not hard. We cannot say that they make fun of you. No.
For that, you only have to acknowledge and value the kindness in your child. For example, I give you an example. My youngest son, he's a boy, but he's very kind at heart. He's 9 years old, but he's like so much kind and caring that sometimes people from my own culture and background, they start making fun of him for that, right? And that's where I stop them, because that is what I love in my child, and I don't want that to be taken away from him.
Definitely.
And when he sees that he's being bullied for being a kind person, it even makes him more frustrated.
And here comes the educator role as well. Like teachers should appreciate when she see a student is helping, she should say appreciation word. Yeah, and parents also need to do the same thing.
So you can tell me that is there inequality between the behavior of parents?
Not all the families are same.
No, not the families. Even in families, and talking about schools, children are doing the same, but you are praising one and you are not praising other, because might be you don't have the time, might be you ignore that kid.
It's common. It's common. Yeah, it happens.
So viewers, we are showing you a small video clip on the inequality, and I hope you will enjoy it.
left is the monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape, and you will see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber, and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here.
Welcome back, viewers, to the reality check. We are having a very interesting conversation about the frustration in youth. So we start with our symptoms, that what are the symptoms of frustration. Now we have discussed about the reasons why they create, but what are the symptoms? Being my first question with both of you, that being a parent, how do you consider that? What are the symptoms of frustration? How can you detect those symptoms in your child?
Oh, when child is not behaving nicely, like they are ignoring parents or the teachers, there should be something fishy that you have to check with that one. You have to discuss, you have to communicate with the child that what is bothering them.
Okay.
So I think like my own daughter, she sometimes says that I want to stay longer outside, like late night. I said no, there is rules, there is limits. You can go the whole day, you can enjoy the whole day, but this is a certain time that you have to be back at home. Either it's a girl or a boy. There is no issue or.
But the thing is, if she's taking it positively, then there is no frustration.
Yeah,
but if she's not taking it positively,
yes. She is taking it positively, but the peer pressure that she discussed with me, that people, my friend says that if you are not enjoying at this age, when you want to enjoy? I said I was in the same age.
But we are discussing about the symptoms. So first symptom is behavior, change in behavior. And second,
yes, I can add to that. Like symptoms for me, like this is a certain kind of behavior, and the behavior is like when you see that your kid or your teen is like they seem bored. They seem disinterested.
Yeah.
Most of all, they seem detached. Right?
Passive aggressive behavior, basically.
That's the one thing. Yeah. Yes. Sometimes it's aggressive. If it's aggressive, then they are at that stage, which is not. They have not gone very far away. Yeah. You can bring them back from there.
Yeah.
But if it has turned into a total detachment, that means they have been pushed away. So now it's more difficult to bring them back.
And that lack of interest.
Lack of interest.
Yes,
lack
they
of
want
motivation.
to sit alone. They want to do their own things.
Yeah. They don't want
up to one level,
this is not.
Up to one level, this is okay.
Up to one level, it's fine. If they are introvert personality, that's okay. But the parent can tell if their child is actually introvert or if this is for now.
Because they need their own time as well.
Yeah,
they need their own time.
Give them their own time. There is one study of psychologists. They said that most of the frustration is created by the self-imposed things which kids are creating in their minds.
It's a
hormonal change. It's a hormonal
to that I would say that mostly it might be something imaginary to us, but it's very real for them. Even if they are creating it in their mind, once it's there, it's real for them, and we cannot solve that problem until we take it as real.
Yes, and I have heard about one incident that a student of university, when he completed his university and he got very good grades, but he got a low salary job in Walmart, and then he just took it very seriously and he suicided it. He suicided because he was not able to cope about the level of his confidence and his job. So like these kind of things, everything matters because everything is going on in their minds.
Yes, and
so there is the point that again I said that it's the parents and the teachers' responsibility to let them to face the fact that not always you are successful. There is failure in the life. So many times, give them some examples. Talk with them, communicate with them that it happens. It's norm of the life.
And don't get into negative talk or negative thinking, because sometimes some of our parents are like, oh, our teenagers have turned into very rude, baptized people, right?
Yeah.
So that's not the reality. The thing is that they are going through their own mental stresses, frustrations, whatever, basically stresses. So you actually need to understand that. You need to help them solve their problems instead of labeling them or blaming them for how they are feeling, because that's what they are feeling and that's not their fault.
I would like to add one thing, like in our community, parents, when a child come and say, Mom, I get this marks, and we said, oh my God, why didn't you took 100%?
Yeah.
This is our kids call desi parents.
Yes.
So no, it's better to say, okay, that's fine, it happens. Next time try to get more good marks, maybe, and check what is lacking that you have to overcome it next time.
And most important of all, let them know and believe that actually you care about them more than about their marks.
Yes.
That's them that actually matters.
Definitely.
But the thing is, over here you also you are also moving around in the community. Basically, you are educators also. You are dealing with the children day and night. Whatever I say, at home also and in the schools also. Did you find out that the most successful kids have the perfect families?
No.
I think sometimes because if they have guidance and if they have support, I think, but it's not necessary all the time, but I think it play a good role that if the parents are positive and they're supportive and the teachers are also supportive, because sometimes teacher doesn't mean that she wants to say something but student take it negatively. It happens. So again, I will emphasize on the communication that if you feel that your student is having some issue with you, just talk to them.
So what is the reason why children do not talk to their parents, even if the parent wants to talk to them?
Yeah, I can answer that question. Yeah. I think especially children and especially teenagers, they don't talk to their parents because most of the time if they have ever tried to talk to their parents, what they get to hear is that the parents usually start with blaming. So that's how we do.
And they say, we did this for you, we did that for you.
We usually start with
what you are giving us
whatever problem they are going through, we start with putting the blame on them. For example, if my daughter or my son comes to me with her report and they say, oh, we got less marks, I'm not feeling good because I got a bad mark on that. So what do? I start with blaming the child. I start with, oh, see, I told you. You did not listen to me. You are not doing your homework. You're not giving enough time to your studies. You are the culprit. That's the thing. So once I said that to them, what's happening? Now their brain shuts down. They're no more ready to listen to anything.
You have transmitted the negative message and now they just shut down.
Think about yourself. If somebody is saying negative words about you, what do you feel? So same thing is when you are saying the same thing to your child, what do they think?
So
they just shut the door of their brain and their heart.
They get the impression that you are not there to help, rather you are there to blame them. You are there to put them to in the judgment or whatever. You're judging them. You're not helping them at all. And then, even if it's somebody else, just think about our own selves. If somebody starts talking to us like that, are we going to share anything to them again? To my friends? No. You start blaming me with something. Oh no, this kind of friend, I don't want that friend.
Trust them,
Right? At this point, I just need to ask you, what are the remedies for frustration? Because
there's one thing I would like to talk about is that one thing when parents are talking to their teens, kids, and they want children to actually listen to them, there is a certain way that they need to talk.
Okay.
Now, for example, let's take an example. Maybe some kids were, some teenagers were speeding on the road, and they came back. Maybe they got a ticket for speeding, or somebody, a friend of yours, told you that your child was doing this. So whenever you start talking to them, even when they have done something wrong, don't start with blaming, rather start with letting go. Let go of your control. And turn over the responsibility to them. For example, you can say that you're going to have to be the one to take your own responsibility. I'm not going to be with you all the time. I wish I could convince you that you have to drive safely, and you have to abide by traffic laws, but I can't force you to do that. Okay? So that's how you start. And then you voice your own concerns and your own thoughts. For example, you tell them that
I love you
I'm
more.
scared.
That's right,
yeah, and I feel scared knowing that you are driving on the road, and if you have been involved in unsafe driving, because I care for you. And
So
everything.
like you said, that show your love and
concern.
show your concerns.
Yes,
and
and,
be kind to them
Yes.
when they are telling you about their
Exactly.
Use positive words.
Yes, use
and
positive.
then you can offer help. For example,
Yes.
if you don't want them to drive by themselves again,
Yeah.
so you can offer help. You can say, okay, if this persists, I can help
can
in
drive
my
you.
ways. I can
Yeah.
drive you there. I can
Yeah.
I can arrange a cab.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is where where you address parents' part, and that is where you just tell them the rules, the house rules. These are the house rules that, like for example, if you don't obey the laws, or I'm not going to allow you to take the car because I don't feel safe with anyone who is who has been involved in unsafe driving, and also my insurance doesn't have another car on that.
Okay.
So these are the things. This is the logic behind. These are the natural consequences of what you did. So when they know that they are going through the natural consequences, not something that is imposed from
Yes.
nowhere,
Yes.
but logical and natural consequences, then they understand it better.
Because the thing is that when accident happens, if you are not drinking, if you are not overdosed, if you are not even speeding, somebody else.
Yes.
And it takes your
If
life
you,
and
the
takes
car
his
is
life
not in
also.
the vehicle is not in your control.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even you are a good driver, but the other is
Other.
not driving
So-
right. So you cannot control your
You cannot
speed.
control your speed,
And,
and both dies.
both
That
die,
is,
so-
you take two lives, not your own.
Your
not
own.
only.
And sometimes they do it because of peer
Yes.
pressure. Now, peer pressure is, if you look at in depth, this is their fear of their friends not liking them or leaving them for not agreeing with
Or rejection also.
right. So what you can do is that you can show them that if you don't agree with somebody or somebody don't agree with you, that does not give you a reason to hate them, right? You can still love people who don't agree with you. So when you do that, then they know that their friends won't abandon them.
No, on a lighter note, we can say they don't want to be an ugly duckling. Yeah, really,
Yeah,
like
maybe.
we have to be very, very like kind and generous, and we have to always show a lighter
We
mood.
need
So that's why
positivity.
they trust us. Otherwise, they will not trust us.
Yes.
The only thing is because there is lot of harassment and there is lot of peer pressure and everything is negative is in the society, and whatever we are telling them, first negative thing goes in their mind, and then second positive things. Okay, my parents are with me; they listen to us.
We need to teach our kids
Yes.
that take a step
Yeah,
firmly.
firmly.
Yeah. Don't be scared from
Yes.
anybody.
Yeah.
If you are on the right path, you will be successful.
Yes,
And,
and I
You will
always
get
tell-
more friends. It's not the end of the world that only these are your friends. You can get more good
And
friends.
if they understand that all other people have right to believe in certain things and do what they want, what they think is right, then they will take steps. They will stand up for what they think is right.
No, but the thing is that whatever I have seen over here, and I have raised my kids also, I always told them, whether you are right or whether you are wrong, just trust me, I'm always at your back.
Definitely. We
But
need
you
that.
have to
Parents
take
have to-
me in your trust,
Trust.
and confidence.
Definitely.
Have confidence always, whatever bad and whatever good
And then
consequences
And you need to
are.
trust your your kids.
Yes.
Then
yes.
I will
Because
add
that's
this.
why I'm telling them I am trusting you for everything. You have to trust me. Because mother or the family is the only one thing which stays forever.
And they are the sincerest person.
Yeah, they are the sincerest friends.
Yes.
So,
and just to add something to this, like when you're talking about trust and so then confidence, this is just like we earn respect, right? We don't have born rights to respect.
yeah.
Just like even if you're a parent, you have to earn respect.
Yes.
Just like that, you have to
Yes.
earn trust.
Obviously.
You cannot tell your child because I'm your parent,
Yes.
you have to trust
Yes.
me. No,
Yeah.
you have to create that climate, that environment
yes.
where they can actually trust
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
You have to earn that.
Yes. Viewers, we raise a child like a mother raised a child for 9 years and 9 months in her womb. And then almost up till 9 to 12 years, she raised the child. And with these small issues which we have discussed over here, these are the small issues which are not becoming the bridges in between kids and the parents. And this frustration issues causes accidents, gunshots, mental health issues. So how and where we stand with this discussion with Seema and with Sumaira, we feel like that there is lack of communication in between the families, in between the parents and the kids. There is less tolerance between the kids and the parents also. We do not want to listen to each other. We do not want to give time. What the quality time is. Still, is this the quality time we are giving to our kids? This is my question to our viewers. Thank you very much. Viewers, you can give us your feedback at umeed@live.ca. This caption is going on the screen. Please give us your feedback, and my phone number also is on the screen. You can call us and you can give us your feedback. Thank you so much.